Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here to work on that scrapbooking room of mine. Now, this is the one place that I was not looking forward to cleaning up, and it is another desk that I never film at, but it's literally across from where I stand, like across the desk, and then there's that desk there. The plan for that, I guess, was to be able to sit down to this desk and do the journaling on my pages. Well, that hasn't worked, and you see why. So this has become a dumping ground for, all my layouts. And if I take out some 6x6, instead of putting them back where they belong, I just dump them on there. You can see I found some page kits in there. I'm like, what? This is on the chair, and now I'm finding some paper pads. So this is why I like that my main desk is now clean, because I'm taking everything, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to start with the chair because I can't even use the chair. So there's a bunch of, like I said, there was page kits, there was cardstock, there was paper pads, there was file folders, lots of layouts, and then one empty iris container. And now that chair is cleaned up. There was another iris container on the floor, and I'm going to pick that up. I bought these little bottles that you can mix up your own like paint mixture and stuff like that. Well, the bag must have fallen, and there's like the little tip of them. They were all over the place, so I picked them up and I put them where they belong. Now this is where my 6x6 belong. I bought these little crates. Sometimes I could find them at the dollar store. Other times I would find them at our hardware store. When I bought them, they were like $2 a piece. I think they're like $7 or $8 a piece now. So I'll just make do with the amount that I have. I think I have 6 of them, and I'll just be happy with that and make it work for what I have. Now I did pack a few 6x6 like on top of those crates, and they are fine there. So I'm just getting you a different view of that top of the desk. So I have 2 full stacks of layouts under that top shelf, I guess. And then there was a big stack of layouts on my chair, and I've moved that now to my desk. And there's 3 piles on here. So those are the 3 piles, and I'm just gonna, spoiler alert, there is more piles other places. But I couldn't figure out what I was gonna do with these layouts. And remember last week when I was removing the 8.5x11s, and I was like, oh, those are gonna be for albums. Well, I don't have albums for most of those layouts right now. So I had the aha moment this week. Hey, how about if I try to remove more of those 8.5x11, find a spot for them, take these layouts, and in between chipboard, put them standing up in those. Actually, you can see them at the bottom of the screen there. That's where they're going to go. And instead of being on my desk, that is going to be amazing. It's going to clear off that stuff. Now, again, spoiler alert, we don't get to all of that today because that is a lot. But you see, now my desk is all clean. I had a bunch of embellishments from Tim Holtz. I put them all in the same iris container. I don't film this, but under my desk, you see a little shelf there, and there's boxes. I cleaned that up too, and I put 3 or 4 iris containers under there, and I push that white shelf further back underneath my desk. So now I'm able to sit there. So I was looking at the rest of that, and I'm like, you know what? The amount that I have out already, that's going to take me a long time to put away. And I was feeling a little no energy, and I thought, you know what? Just go, and even if you just do half hour, it's better than none. So some is better than none, right? So, but I ended up, I think it was 50 minutes that I ended up cleaning, which, I got that much done, and everything that I moved over to the desk, now I'm going to take the time and I'm going to make sure to put it away. And that's why I wanted to stop, because I'm like, oh no, I have a lot of stuff to put away over there. Because a couple things. I got some new bristle board smooth finish for stamping and coloring with Copic markers. So I was experimenting with that. I was making buttons yesterday. So here they are. Those are new buttons. They're going to be dropping soon. Now, if you want the digital file, you can get those now. But a lot of people said that they wanted like the physical because they don't have printers or whatever the case may be, right? So I am getting ready because, like I was telling someone this week, I'm a one man show, so I want to make sure that I have it quite a little bit at least ready, and then we'll probably just do like one drop a month, and whatever I can get done the month before, then I'll put that up for sale. Only because my silhouette can be a little finicky, so I can't depend on it. Like it will work, and then I'll get a bunch done, and then it'll take me like a week to get it to work again. So I think I figured out what the problem is, but I think I was overworking it. I was trying to cut like 10 to 20 a day, and now I just do one an hour, and it seems to be working. So the next thing, because I was like, okay, well, I don't want these layouts to stay on my desk all week. Some of them, because this cleaning of the room has inspired me to start other stuff that I wanted to do. So one of the things I want to get done is to get at least 10 pages a week journaled on and put in the album. All the other years I was saying 25, and I think 25 is just too much. And now I know why. And I wanted to film how long it was going to take me to just get through a stack of layouts like this. And I'm just showing you all the layouts. A lot of these layouts we did during the scrapathons. A lot of these are for Patreon, my Patreon. I have a link in the description box. I think there's over 200 videos there now. And when you join, you get all the backlog. So I was just showing you there fried green tomatoes. That is probably my favorite movie of all time. That and Twister, I think. So I saw a page about that. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch it again. I love that movie. Now I've kind of slowed this down to only twice the speed. Everything else is like 4 times or 8 times the speed, because I wanted you to be able to see the layout, because when I did it any faster, it was so fast. So you can pause, like if you want to look at the layout. But what I'm doing right now is I'm going through them. I am making 2 piles. I'm making a pile that has pictures for now, and the other pile needs pictures. And I'm going to put them separately in those slots. And I'm going to show you those slots here in a minute. But so for the beginning, I took made 2 piles with pictures, without pictures. And then I'm going to put the pile without pictures in a certain spot. And that's going to help me a lot, because what I'm doing with my patrons right now is once a month, we're, going live together, and I am putting pictures on a lot of these layouts that don't have pictures. So again, we're doing about 10 layouts a month. So, if I do 10 layouts a week that I am journaling and putting away in albums, and then 10 a month, it doesn't seem as much, but I don't have as many that need photos and all the kit and caboodle compared to, the ones that already have pictures on and already just need a little bit of journaling or a date. So I'm separating those for now. That's why I'm putting the focus on, the ones that have pictures and everything, and just put those into albums this year. So with 10 a week, that's 40 a month. So that would be 480. So that's almost 500 layouts that I'm going to put away this year. Now I know we're like at the end of June, so I'm not talking like calendar year, but more like within the next year, I'll be able to put 480 layouts away. And another thing that's fun is just going through the layouts and looking at them. And I was like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And oh, I love that layout. And it's just, sometimes I feel like I'm in a rut and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I like the layouts that I am making, like we're our worst critics, right? And when I go through these, I'm like, these, I like them. They're really nice, like I really like the way they look. And, because with Patreon, I always have challenges. Like for July, it's going to be that we're going to use flowers for the pages that we do in July. And then for June, it was we needed to use chipboard. So by, expanding what I use, I find that, your layouts look different just by doing that. So next time, I think what I'm going to do is I'll just film a little bit of it, but I'm going to do the same thing. Just take a big pile of layouts, divide them in layouts that have pictures, no pictures, then they have a different spot. This is a class, by the way, that is available in my store, and it's favorite moments of 2023. I got to put pictures in those. Now, I have to say, was summer the best time to, decide, hey, I'm going to do a big cleanup of my craft room? To be fair, I started, 8 weeks ago, right? So I started at the end of May or April, the end of April. So I'm just decided to take this in 2 bites. And because I didn't go upstairs and say, I'm just gonna, work on this until it's done, then you never want to go up there again. But by saying today I'm going to do this side of the desk, next week I'm going to do the other side of the desk. And it's all tasks that still took me an hour and a half. Now, another thing is I don't just move, I don't know what to do with this, so I'm going to move it to the other side of the room because the other side of the room is already cleaned up. And I don't want to have to, go clean that area again. So that's where my desk is becoming, if you will, important, because then I just make sure that before I leave that day, that everything that I moved over to my desk is now cleaned up. So this is the part where I say, okay, now that's enough layouts. Those were all the layouts that didn't have pictures. So there we go. I put a piece of chipboard on either side, and I'm just showing you, like, I only have 4 slots left. So I need to move those 8.5 by 11s and make myself some more room for those layouts. And then I wanted to do that for the albums, and I'm like, I don't want to move anything there because I don't want to move anything there temporarily and then I have to move it again. But this is perfect because the layouts are going to go inside an album. So it's actually where they're going to live, just in an album. So by putting them there, it's not as if I have to move them out somewhere else. It's just whenever, as I'm getting albums and I'm putting these away, a big chunk, one slot is going to be filled with an album full of layouts instead of the layouts just sitting there. So now I move the 8.5 by 11 on my desk because I have no idea what I'm going to do with these yet. And I'm going through that pile one more time. Now where I decided that I wanted to do 10 layouts a week that I want to journal on and put them away the same week, because putting pages away takes quite a bit of time too. So the fact that, journaling on them and then putting them away, it was going to take me hours and hours and hours. And that's why I wasn't doing it. But 10 and filming it, it kind of gave me an idea how long this took. So it took me about 20 minutes to go through that big stack to separate them in 2. It's going to take me just a few minutes now. I picked out 10 that I wanted to journal on. I'm not even, before I was picking 50 Do you know what I mean? And then I was like, okay, well, whenever I have time, no, I'm going to pick the 10. Actually, I think it was 13, but I'm going to pick those that I have time that I know to do that day or for that week, because I don't have to do the 10 all in one sitting too. I think that day I did 9, and today I'm going to go and do the other 4, and then I'll have done 13 for the week. But the other thing is, I want to make sure that I put them in albums. Like, I want to finish the process. So by just doing 10, because I don't like journaling, but I really don't like putting stuff into albums too. Like, it snags on the page protector. It's just a pain in the butt. So I was looking at this, and I had a cube that I had like my iron in it and a couple other things. And I'm like, I have nothing under my sink. Let's put that under my sink, and then it'll give me room for that 8.5 by 11. So it almost took the rest of it. And then, so I think I have maybe 3 containers left, or maybe two containers left. So 8 slots to put away. And then all that 8.5 by 11 will have a new home. And then I'll have room for all those layouts, and that makes me happy. So now I had put aside a whole bunch that, were inspiring me to journal, I guess, and a lot of it was from our trip 2 years ago, because across Canada, because it's coming so close. Actually, yesterday would have been when we would have left the first day. So, all these emotions, right? Of, that was 2 years ago. So, and I have a lot of layouts. And I'm showing you when I got back, that was one thing that I am so glad I did. I sat down, I took a couple of sheets of, scrap paper. I wrote down day 1 to day 44, and I wrote where we were. And then I also put the date. So I'm showing you on that little notepad, I want to do pages journaled on and pages put in an album. And you saw that little container that I had, or little basket. Everything goes in there. So I know next time I come to do some journaling, I'll be able to just grab that little basket and everything will be in there, all those dates. And then I had another sheet there that over the years I wrote down, like in 2016 we went to the mountains, and like I put down every year where we went, that we traveled. And then that way, if I come across some of those pages, I can just look there and at least get the month and the year. Now with this big trip, because it was such a big trip, 44 days, I am glad that I went and put the date and the day, like day 1, day 2. And what I'm doing is on the front, I'm stamping the date, and on the back, I'm going to write day 1 to day 25, because when I'm putting it in albums, it really helps. I just, because a lot of times will look and I'm go, oh, that's day 17, and then that's day 25. Okay, well, day 18 is going to go somewhere in between. And whenever, because I have so many layouts, I don't put a layout on the back of day 17. I'll start fresh, like a new page protector, because I know there's going to be more day 17. So by doing that, I'm kind of making a spot for all the days. Now, in that little basket, I was wondering where my memento ink went, like all of them, because I have different colors. They're in that basket. So I don't want to put the black in there, because I want to use that for, regular stamping and for the Copic coloring. So that is on my desk. So is the Rolly stamps that is for the date, because, I use that almost daily, like every time I do a layout. What I'm trying to do is put the date of the event on the front, especially for a big trip. And then on the back, I'll put the day. But I also, when I make the layout, I put the date that I made the layout and what I did it for. So let's say if it was for a sketch for Patreon or if it was for Scrapathon. And then if somebody says, oh, which class was that done? I can easily look and say, oh, that was a Patreon live, or that was, this year, Sketch 12 version 2. One thing that I'm doing on Patreon that I'm so glad I did from the beginning is, let's say if I put Sketch 12 version 2, I'll put June 2024 in brackets next to it. And then I tag it for sketches of 2024. So everything is pretty well organized. So if you, watch a video and you write down, oh, I really want to do that, but not right now, and you write it down, you can easily find it because everything is labeled and everything is in like folders, if you will. So I'm so glad I filmed, because going through the layouts took me about 20 minutes. Separating them and journaling took me probably another 25-30 minutes. My camera died, so it didn't film everything, but it took me about 25-30 minutes to journal on 9 or 10 layouts. And plus, this was my first time, so it took me a minute to kind of get my bearings and know what I wanted to do. And then putting it into albums took me another 10 minutes. So I know in a week, and once all those layouts are going to be separated, right? Like right now it's all chaotic, but once I have them in those slots and I can just take out one of those slots and say I'm going to take the first 10 on top, that's not going to take me that extra 20 minutes. So this is work that I'm doing now that's going to help later. And also when we put pictures in the layouts for the Patreon Live, I can go to one of those slots and just get, the ones that don't have pictures in it. Now, another thing that I do, or I want to do, is I'm looking and seeing what albums I have upstairs, what year. And some of those don't have a label on the spine, and it's driving me nuts. So I got to figure out how I can put the date. So I am writing down the albums that I have upstairs. So as I'm going through my layouts, I can say my 2020 album is up here, my 21, my 2022, my 2023, 2024, or 2016, that is downstairs. So then I can, again, do different piles, divide them by the year, right? 2022, and all the year 2016. And then I can say, oh, all of these, the albums are upstairs. So let's go get the albums. Let's put them away right away. And then I can take the rest of the layouts and go downstairs where the albums are and just put those away, because I got to go downstairs at one point. Doesn't mean that I have to go right then and there, but when I go downstairs when I'm finished working, I can take those, probably 2 or 3 or 4, whatever the amount is, because I'm only doing 10 a week, and go put them in the album, and then they are put away and done. And so what I'm doing is every week I'm going to say, okay, I journaled on 10 or 12 or 9, and I actually put away 14, because like I said, some of them are already journaled on and have a date, and they're not in an album. So if I come across any of those, I put them with the 10 to journal, but it's not really to journal. It's more, okay, I can put this one away right away, and that'll be a big win. And I really don't want to spend like an afternoon putting stuff in albums. Like I said, to me, I know it's a productive thing to do. Like, it's done, it's in the album, lovely, but I don't enjoy doing it. So if I do it again in small bites, just like I got this room done in small bites, I'm going to get it done. And I think 25 layouts a week was too big of a bite, and it was, I was choking. So I hope this is, encouraging to you. I know every time I mention how many layouts that I have to put away, there's always tons of people that say, oh, me too, I have hundreds to put away. And when you look at that big pile, it's overwhelming. But if you break it down into small bites, then it's more like, oh, I can do this. So I was looking, I had 2 more layouts to put away, and it was in 2018. Now I'm pretty sure I have an album that's for Katie's wedding, but I couldn't find it and I didn't want to go downstairs. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put it in the 2018 album, which I didn't have an album up here. So I stamped on the spine. These albums here have a little label that you can put it on. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to do that right away. That stamp set stays in that basket. So whenever I need it, I can do it. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to put the 2 pages together because it's from the wedding. And then that way I can, if I do have a wedding album, I can just take the whole thing and put it in. But that's going to finish that for today. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.